Hello, everybody. Well, actually, good morning. I'm an early bird. So I wanted to give you this little announcement just to make sure that we're all on the same page. Again, make sure you start by watching the overview video, okay? Because then you're going to read the prompt, and the prompt is about whether you think race plays more of a vital area in our society, or does socioeconomic status or classism, what do you think has more of an effect? And let me show you the prompt here. So, actually, which poses a greater threat to the social fabric of the United States? The differences in race or the differences in class? So right now, I know with the atmosphere we're politically in right now, which I can't stand, the race and the class, what is a bigger difference? What has more of effect? Okay, and then you're going to choose, let's say I choose race, that will be my pro, and then class would be my opposing. So let's go with that. So race is going to be my pro for this example announcement, and then class will be my opposing or my con, okay? Decide on that, and then you're going to base your annotated bibliography, the 8 sources that you find. Well, you have to use 8 in the paper, but there are 10 for the annotated bibliography. And when you're doing your annotated bibliography, make sure you have full text articles. I talk about that in the database video that you're going to go over, because I will be asking you to submit screenshots of what you've used in your essay. So let's say that let's say I wrote an article and you say Howell, page 87. I'm going to ask you for a screenshot of Howell and page 87, and I want you to highlight what you used. Too many students, I think, are using AI that I'm not picking up. So make sure you have the full text for your articles that you choose for the annotated bibliography, because then I may ask for them, because again, the sources that you find in the annotated bibliography will be used for your paper. So you're completing the annotated bibliography by doing research, but what is that research for? It's deciding race or class. And again, you may change your mind and say, oh, you know what, after I've done research, I think class is my pro and race is my con. Now I want to jump over to the setup, how you're going to write your essay. You're going to choose one of the models again. Let me go to that page. So actually, I just scrolled down in the prompt and it's here. Again, you know the heading. This is Model A. So Model A, remember, I want all of the titles. I want everything highlighted, the thesis statement, and then all of the topic sentences. So for Model A, obviously your intro and your thesis statement is first. Some students will have 8 sources which you have to use in this, and they'll list them all in introduction. I don't understand why they do that. You don't need to list anything in the introduction unless you're going to pull the main characters from that. If not, don't put any of your support here. Only use the articles in the paragraphs when you're using them as support. Now, I know that this paper is not about Maya or Atticus, but that's different, because where the main character is coming from, that I would give the novel titles and authors for. I'm setting the stage. However, again, do not list all 8 things in the introduction. I'll take points off for that. So again, introduction, thesis, I'm using Model A. Give your thesis. Pro-argument, pro-argument, pro-argument. Again, I'm telling you that for me, for this example, race would be my pro. So if race is my pro-argument number 1 will be about race. Class should not be in this paragraph at all. Class is the con. It is the opposing. So pro is race, so all of my pro paragraphs should be about race only. Now, if you need pro argument 1 or 2, fine. If you need pro argument 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if you need to add more, go ahead. Now, if you find that you're writing your paper and you're like, wow, pro for my race has a con, pro for my race here has a con, pro for my race 3 has a con, maybe change it and go with Model C and go with counter argument and refute. The only time you should have, again, my pro is race, class. The only time I should be showing class is here when I'm opposing it. Opposing, oh goodness guys, excuse me. Opposing views may argue that Class has more of an effect on society than race, period. That's the only time I should be talking about class, is if I'm going to oppose and refute it. And then obviously you have your closing and then your works cited. And again, your works citing, I think it has to have 8. Make sure they're in alphabetical order, follow MLA style. Remember, make sure you have the primary sources. Make sure you have full text, because I will be asking you to send me screenshots of where you found the information. Okay, and I want to go back over to, in counter argument, I want your counter argument set up with the headings, and I'm going to show you that right now. So if you decide to do Model A again, you can change per argument 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how many you need. Again, race is my pro. I'm only going to talk about race in the pro arguments. The only time I'll bring in my opposing, my con, is when I'm doing the counter argument. That's when I'll bring in class. Now yours may be set up differently. Again, maybe you have, you want to do compare, maybe you want to do pro, con, pro, con, pro, con. Maybe choose Model D. So maybe talk about, opposing views say this, refute, this, refute, this, refute, this, refute, and then pro argument would summarize all of your pros that you've used here and then go in your conclusion. That's up to you. However, if you're going to do argument, counter argument, and refute, make sure you have the titles. Introduce the opposing, part 2. It's going to look kind of strange, because if you're going to do this, your counter argument is going to start with here. Introduce the opposing argument. Okay. So your counter paragraphs are going to have 4 parts, and I want these all labeled, or I'm not going to grade it. Okay, and then your counter argument paragraph should look like this. You don't need to put an opposing paragraph. That's not right. Just put the title. So yours would look like this. So let's say this is Model A, pro argument 1, pro argument 2, pro argument 3, and what comes next? Counter argument and refutation, refuting. That's what would be here. Sorry guys, let me get back down there. So you had your pro argument 3 here, and now you're going to put counter argument and refuting, and then you're going to part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. And since class is my opposing, I would say opposing views may claim that class is better for our society, for today's society than race. Then I'll bring evidence here for class, come back to race, conclude, and then I would go to my closing paragraph if you're using Model A. So make sure you follow that. And again, I can't stress this enough. If you're going to work in a group, make sure that you trust the people, because if there's any AI, I'm going to give everybody a 0. Remember, don't use translators. Don't use Google suggestions. All right? So if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you. Bye.